Hello class, so I just wanted to explain I've made a few changes to the final culminating activity and I just wanted to go through and make sure that you understand what those changes are. So first of all, you're going to go into Unit 6, Activity 1, and when you go into that activity, you're going to see this. There is content in this that can help you, but it's not necessarily pertinent to completing the project, but there is some information in there just about being a writer and an author. So here's one of the key things that I want to point out. So here's the big picture. We are creating a portfolio in which you are going to demonstrate your best writing pieces. You need to pick a format in which you're going to display your work. It can be a large Google Doc, it can be a website, it can be a blog, it can be a number of different things. So it's really important to think about before you actually start inputting the information, how you're going to display that. So let's go through it. What exactly goes into your portfolio? And this is one of the key things that I want to address, is that I made some changes right here, just because as we were going through this course, it certainly became aware to me that we weren't going to be able to get through everything. I could push through, but it didn't necessarily benefit you in any way, shape, or form to just keep plowing ahead with assignments when we were struggling to get done some of the ones that we had been working on. So I changed it a little bit just to reflect some of those changes. What goes in your portfolio is 2 previously written pieces. We've done short stories and we've done poetry. So you're going to choose one from each of those units. You're going to choose at least 1 short story and at least 1 poem. This is minimum. If you'd like to include more than that, please feel free. The second one is an additional narrative piece. So in Unit 5, there is an activity that we didn't get to because we simply ran out of time. So I thought I would include it as part of the portfolio. A narrative piece is something that comes from your own experiences, something that you'd like to talk about from your own personal perspective. And so in Unit 5, Activity 1, there is information as to what this assignment is all about. And I'll even in the news feed, and I'll send it to you guys as well, I'll include an exemplar from a former student. I'm not quite sure why it formatted like this. It doesn't always look like this. But if you're seeing it where it's just this giant graphic, I promise at the bottom of it, there actually is some information here. All right, so as we're going through, we're looking at some information about writing about personal narratives. There's some information here and even some writing exercises that can bring you to understand stream of consciousness and some of the things, the way to pull out ideas. So none of this is necessarily due, but what we are going to be doing is we're going down all the way to the bottom, and we are looking for some of these activities might be able to help you understand personal narratives, but we're going down all the way to me, myself, and I. So there is some ideas and examples of what a personal narrative is, and you're going to write your own personal narrative story. It's often based on life events, so you can use the word I. You are the narrator as to what this significant event was and what impact it had on your life. And so the outline for this assignment is in Unit 5, Activity 1. It's me, myself, and I. So we are looking for 1 previously submitted story and poem. At minimum, you can include more. You are going to create your own personal narrative using the description from Unit 5, Activity 1. And in addition to that, something you've never submitted before, you are going to have a new piece. So let's count that up. At minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to include 4 written pieces into your portfolio that demonstrate your work. Then the next step is you're going to include a preface for each of those. And that's where an artist basically brings the reader or the audience into the piece. so that they can know what went into it or what the purpose was, etc. So you're going to write a little preface before each of your 4 pieces, and then you're going to choose how you display that in your portfolio. The other thing that you're going to do as we go through here is you're going to write a reflection on this course, but also your writing pieces, and that is specific for your portfolio. So let's go through at the end of it what you're going to hand in: a polished portfolio that includes the 2 to 3 older pieces, personal narrative, and a newly written piece, your reflection, and possible feedback. This is one of the things you should share it with another student so that they can give you written feedback, and you should include that as well. And you're going to include your reflection. So it has 3 very important components. Remember that each of these has a little paragraph written before it to introduce it to the audience. And then you're going to hand that in. Let's go back here. You're going to hand that into your portfolio assignment for activity unit 6, activity 1. And when you hand this in, you have completed the course. So as long as there's no other assignments that you need to work on, that indicates the ending of the course. So again, don't forget to go into content. I have changed the criteria as to what is expected from that assignment. So it's very important that you go through and make sure that you know what pieces you're putting in. It may be different than it was a week ago, and so it's really important to preview that and make sure that you've got all of those components. So that is the culminating activity. There is no exam, and just make sure that you get this very, very important assignment completed. You cannot pass this course without handing it in unless there's varying circumstances. So it's very, very important. Good luck, and don't hesitate to ask questions.